Sports Blitz Live is on the air with full coverage of the Auburn Tigers,
Touchdown Auburn!
the Alabama Crimson Tide,
Off to the inside, intercepted Alabama. Touchdown run!
and everything college and high school sports. Now, let's join Andy, Brett, Randy, and Luke for this edition of Sports Blitz Live.
Really, this was week 10. You got one more week of the regular season next week. With the bye week, obviously, I have 11 weeks, and then head into the playoffs. And so the playoff picture is becoming a little bit more clear. Some interesting comments from some coaches last night, and really coming from the 7A bracket. Randy, Vestavia and Hoover last night. Vestavia's head football coach talking about the playoffs and issuing a plea to the HSA to consider changing the structure of the playoff system here in the state to reflect more of what Georgia has adopted. And, you know, if you go back and look at his comment and his, I guess the clip after the game, you know, he makes some good points, but we'll talk about that as well. Obviously, we were in Chelsea last night, and it was a good football game. Chelsea played really well, didn't make or made Benjamin Russell earn everything that they had or had to get, and that's what the Wildcats needed. The Wildcats needed you know, they needed that game to be a really, really tough football game because you're heading into the playoffs, and Chelsea really with nothing to play for last night, being eliminated pretty much the previous week. So, again, tough football game. Wildcats kind of found themselves there later in the second half and ended up putting that game away. I know Baby J made another really, really good play, another pick six, but a lot to process and digest here on the show this morning.
Definitely is. You know, I'll start real quick with the comments that you had from the Vestavia coach. You know, I bet there's a lot of teams out there, especially in that region, that feel exactly like him over the years. You know, it is a top-heavy classification. How many teams out of that classification's played for state championships, Brett? I mean, 5 or 6?
Yeah.
I'd have to go back and look,
Yep.
but I mean, lately it's been Thompson and Phoenix City. I mean, every once in a while you can kind of spin an Auburn in there who's been there a couple of times, but for the most part it's been Thompson and Phoenix City. And, you know, when you live over there in that region with Thompson and Hoover and Hewitt-Trussville and others, you've got 5 of the top 8 teams playing in the same region year in and year out. And I think Vestavia is that way this year, Brett. I believe that. I think Vestavia is a top 5 or 6 team in Class 7A. And with that being said, you know, they've got to go through that juggernaut there on the northern side with Thompson year in and year out to make it to a state championship game. So was that the angle he was going?
Yeah,
or
well,
the path that they have for the playoffs, because I haven't watched it yet.
Well, the path to the playoffs, but pretty much going back and reseeding because he's saying that, you know, there's going to be 1 or 2 really good teams in their region that don't get to make the playoffs. And he was talking about last night. He said, look, if we had not won against Hoover and Prattville had won, we'd have been eliminated. And he said, well, I think we're the number 2 team in the state right now. And that is crazy. I mean, Vestavia number 2, and they're still fighting to get in the playoffs. So from a look, you know, that doesn't look very good. That if you're the number 2 team in the state in your classification, and it's week 10, it shouldn't be a situation where you're looking up and going, well, are we going to make the playoffs or not? And we've seen it happen in baseball in the past. I think a Smith Station team was ranked number 1 in the state, and they missed the playoffs one year because of their area. So there are rare times that stuff like that happens, but again, I think when you look at it in 7A, and no offense to the Huntsville region and no offense to the Mobile region, but the state champions have been coming from the Birmingham region and the East Alabama region. And those regions are stacked. And basically what he's saying is, you're taking 4 teams out of each region, and maybe every region doesn't deserve 4 teams. Maybe some regions deserve 5 or 6 because of their schedule and the competition. And, I think he raises a good point. And this is not something new. We've talked about this too. And this has been brought up multiple times. And in a reseeding situation and a power ranking situation where you maybe get a little bit more credit for playing tougher teams and having a tougher schedule, very similar to college football, and looking at what goes into who makes the playoffs and who doesn't there.
Well, it feels like a lot of the same conversations we had around the area before we moved to region play. And I've said that a number of times here on this program, Brett, but when you had 4 teams in the area, sometimes that works out okay just to have 2 teams out of that area make the playoffs. But sometimes all 4 teams are easily good enough. If you put the bottom 2 teams in any different region around the state, a lot of times they may win it. And I use the example of the late 90s with Coach McCracken and Coach Sav going against one another so often in the playoffs. And, Ben Russell in 97, which was Coach Lazenby's first year, played an undefeated Opelika team in week 9. Opelika was 8-0 and only 2 teams out of the region, and you still had Phoenix City in that region to go to the playoffs. And Opelika loses to us by a touchdown. And then the next week they lose by a touchdown to Phoenix City. They finish the season 8-2, and they don't make playoffs. So I remember an uproar around that, especially from a community like Opelika. And I get it. There's not a perfect world, though, out there. I'll put it that way. I mean, when you lose the games, you really don't have the excuse to make. And the problem then is going to be who's determining these seeds.
Yeah.
Like, is there some computer making these rankings? Is the Alabama Sports Writers Association expected? And look, people that you and I are good friends with are part of that. And are they expected to? I mean, do you trust that they're going to make the right decisions on who's right there on the cusp of making the playoffs and who's not? I wouldn't want to be the one to make those decisions.
No, I don't know. There'd have to be a formula that goes in, but the bottom line is on the common sense thing, and your eyeballs tell you that, again, yeah, I hear what you're saying on winning the games, but and again, geography shouldn't be the determining factor, especially in 7A, on who makes the playoffs and who doesn't. If you're going to do that, then if you're going to say, well, we're going to go all over the state anyway, well, then break up the regions and say, okay, we're going to half the region in Huntsville and half the region in Birmingham and create another situation. It's going to cause more travel, but it is what it is. I just think just because you are in an area and you happen to have a lot more teams that have been better over the years in one area, that sucks for some of those teams that don't make it, because they have to be clustered in the same cluster, as a bunch of really good teams, and they're one of them. I mean, basically what he's saying is don't give us something, but he's right. I think some of the better teams in the state in 7A could be left out, and somebody's going to be on the outside looking in. And we know that happens every year, no matter what classification it is. But I think what he does raise is some valid points of discussion to say, look, maybe we need to look at doing some things a little bit differently. But we know that there's been a lot of meetings the last couple of weeks regarding private schools and how that structure is going to look moving forward with the HSA and what the playoff situation is going to look like. Maybe there. I think there's going to be a lot of changes. We have a reclassification coming up this year. The numbers are already in for every school. So, that'll be coming out at the end of the season and figuring out who's in which classification and what regions you'll be in. So all that, all that changes every 2 years. So with all of that being said, Randy, there's going to be a lot of things over the next year or two that probably are going to be changing with the structure of the way things are done.
Well, and, everybody that's out there watching and listening, you're looking at two humans that understand this more than anyone based off of the high school time and the high schools that we cover.
Right.
With Ben Russell, I mean, my entire life, when you sit there and you're in the bottom 5 of a classification or the top 5, I mean, so you're either the bottom 5 of what was 6A, mine in your entire life, missing out on being a 5A team by 50 some odd students, sometimes 100 students.
Right.
Or you're at the top 5 of the classification. Yes, sports like football that we've always been successful in, that may not be as big a deal. But you take all the other sports, Brett, the difference between a 6 and 5A program and every other sport's drastic. It's like watching the best 6A team play 7A. I remember talking to you on a Saturday morning, probably a decade ago now, as well as Bo Nix is playing, but watching Bo Nix play Hoover on a Saturday and knowing that Pinson Valley was going to be the 6A state champion that year. You knew it going into the season, and they got beat by 40-something against Hoover. And I go, Brett, there's the discrepancy between 6A and 7A.
Right.
And people can think, from time to time that you can have a 6A team like Clay Chalk will play against Thompson and win. And it can happen. But for the most part, the 5th-ranked 6A program and the 5th-ranked 7A program is going to be a drastic difference most years. And so the reason these discussions happen is because of that. And the private school part of this conversation is a very difficult conversation to have, Brett, because then you have to take into account all of these other sports. So I was giving Wes Coleman, he and I are interested in soccer because our kids are interested in it. I mean, Wes's younger son's a very good soccer player, so we were talking about some of the top soccer programs in the state, and I was giving an example of Lee Scott. Lee Scott just now getting into soccer because they're new to the HSA. What do they do year one with their girls? They win state championship. What does that mean in the years to come? They're going to keep bouncing up. Where does that get you? Well, it gets you where Montgomery Academy is. Montgomery Academy's girls team play in 7A. They're a 3A team.
Yep.
Their 7A boys just knocked off Oak Mountain, who hadn't lost in 2.5 years in soccer in the state championship game. That's 3A programs. So you can say that, well, it's not fair that a 3A program's having to deal with competitive balance. Hell, it didn't bother them. It didn't bother Montgomery Academy, and you go watch them play, and can you imagine them playing against 3A programs? Can you imagine our good –
when he might be in competition, probably.
Can you imagine our good friend Rick Cleveland at UMS Wright with some of those unbelievable tennis programs that he built over there and what they did playing in 3A classification or somewhere like that? I mean, it's just not – I hate to say it, it's just not a fair competition. And so you do have to put things like this into play to try to even it out, Brett. And I don't have a perfect answer for it, but I know you've got to do it.
Yeah. And, with competitive balance and the multiplier, I think the private schools, and then now with the Choose Act in place, not being able to use money to go to a private school or having to sit out a year if you do. I mean, there's just a lot that continues to pile up, and I think that's what's garnered, the discussions. And so we don't know of anything that's come out of any of that. We haven't been privy to any of that information. So, as soon as we get something, we'll release it, but the HSA will release it as well. But, here's what I appreciate is everybody coming to the table trying to figure it out. It's not like you got somebody down there going, well, this is how it is. And this is how it's going to be. If you don't like it, well, tough. They're trying to be open-minded about everything, and they're trying to see everybody's point of view and trying to figure out, what the best way to come up with a solution for all of it. But things are changing. We'll continue to talk about that. We've got some comments coming in. We'll hit here, but we are up against a break here on the show. When we come back, we'll start talking about some of these scores from around the state, some playoff scenarios, a lot of things coming up here on the Saturday Sports Countdown.
Forbes Auto Sales, Highway 280 in Kellyton, Alabama, is home-owned and home-operated. If you're looking for tires, they have it. If you're looking for a vehicle, they have them. Great selection. Always out looking for more just for you, the customer. And if you're looking for service, whether you buy the vehicle from them or whether you buy the vehicle somewhere else, They do service work and got a great crew there. Keep this in mind. Don't you go by Forbes Auto Sales on Highway 280 in Kellyton today.
Craving pizza done right? Come to Lake Martin Pizza, where flavor meets the lake, with 2 locations, 63 South in Alexander City and Highway 49 South in Dadeville. Grab a 14 or 18-inch specialty pizza or build your own masterpiece. Go half and half your way. In a hurry, stop in for our lunch specials. Hot, fresh pizza by the slice, served daily. We've got more than just pizza. Try our fresh salads, cheesy breadsticks, garlic knots, and sweet cinnamon twists. Lake days, game nights, or family dinners. Lake Martin Pizza hits the spot every time.
What's the verdict?
Can't fix your heat pump. Need a new one.
Uh-oh. What are you thinking?
I'm thinking Daikin.
Call on Kevin Kill and Sunshine Heating and Air at 256-825-4849, Central Alabama's premier Daikin dealer.
So what's he thinking?
Oh, he's thinking Daikin.
Daikin, one of the top selling in the world.
Now I'm thinking Daikin.
Daikin. Comfort for life.
Here at Russell Do-It Center and Building Supply, we value what truly makes a home. And that's why we're proud to offer America's #1 brand of siding and exterior products. James Hardie creates possibilities with an array of colors and textures. We offer the full line of James Hardie products, Hardie plank to artisan siding and everything in between, giving you, our customer, options to have the best. Russell Do-It Center and Building Supply, local since 1984.
Ready for an unforgettable escape? Jump into adventure at Lake Martin, Alabama. From thrilling water sports to peaceful fishing spots, it's love at first bite every time you cast your line. Want more excitement? Catch an event with our vibrant festivals, concerts, and fishing tournaments all year long. And when the sun sets, dive downtown to discover local shops, delicious dining, and warm southern hospitality. Explore Lake Martin, where every moment is an adventure waiting to happen.
Zaxby's birthday cake milkshakes are back. Just in time for Zaxby's 35th birthday, so they're gifting you half-off handcrafted milkshakes. Happy birthday to us all. Zaxby's handcrafted milkshakes. Who's got the sauce?
Zaxby's. Bundle your home and auto and save money with State Farm's personal price plan. Contact State Farm agent Ron Carroll today at 256-378-6631 or visit him on Highway 280 in Childersburg. Prices vary by state. Options selected by customer availability. Eligibility may vary.
Seniors leaving and they can't read, write, or do math efficiently. Zero in an entire school system, Brett.
Yeah.
That's where you can't win those arguments anymore. So look, I'm on that side too. Sorry, go down that rabbit hole.
Welcome back, everyone, to the Sports Blitz Saturday Sports Countdown presented by JR Sports Bar and Grill and Sunshine Heating and Air. Again, a lot to talk about this morning. Look, I think you bring up some good points on that. I had a discussion with someone this week a couple of times that's on the private school side, and they see both sides. And bottom line is, it all boils down to recruiting. If you were this Choose Act giving a voucher to somebody to go somewhere else to go to school, basically what people are trying to do is prevent legal recruiting. When you got money now that you can go forward to come, hey, we'll take your voucher and you can come play for us. If you want to bring your money over here, you can come over here now. And that's not just private school, that's public as well. People moving around. And with recruiting already being a problem, already being an issue, now they're trying, the HSA, which is undermanned, because you cannot control all this with the staff they have, is trying to not allow what's going on in college football to let the toothpaste completely out of the tube. Just now, it's, again, I know but I was talking to a private school guy, and they see where they're coming from. And
oh, sure.
And so there's not a correct answer from it. So, like Leslie said, honest conversations, that is the only answer. The truth is easy to find. I agree. I totally agree. You got
well, let me jump in, because you bring up something that takes me down the lane that I want to go, and that is I don't know the answer. You don't know the answer, and I'm almost 99.9% convinced that anybody that's a politician doesn't know the answer.
Well, here's the question, and this is exactly what was told to me by this person, that's a private school guy. The threat from Will Ainsworth is if you don't get your crap together, it's kind of what we were hearing talking to HSA. We're going to come in and we're going to change the structure and we're going to try to take over. And one of the things I was told by private school people too is like, well, that's not going to make things better. I mean, you're going to take things away from an organization that's run high school athletics and put it in the hands of the legislature? And you think they're going to be able to come up with a committee that's going to be able to run things better?
Those are the people. Those are the exact people you don't want in charge. I'm just telling you, someone that has not ran an organization. It's like taking advice. I was telling my kids on my football team this week. I said, "There's a lot of life lessons being learned when you're young, but I want to tell y'all something. 95% of the people that you're taking advice from have never put a helmet on or a pad." And I want you to listen. And 95% of the people that give me advice on how to run my business have never run one themselves. And I can assure you that most of those people that are really being political, like Ainsworth, and really drawing a line in the sand, those are the last humans on God's green earth you want running the High School Athletic Association. Hell, it never done.
Well, let's just be honest. I was going to say this just a minute ago. If you think any of this would be being discussed if this was about academics?
No.
If it were about taking a voucher and going to another school for academics, people there would be no discussion. But when you involve athletics and you know that nefarious things are going to go on when you're providing taxpayer money vouchers to kids to move around wherever they want to go. Now it's become political.
And let me make sure that I get this in there one more time.
Yep.
I'm 1,000% for kids getting an opportunity to go to a good school.
This has nothing to do with that. Because if it was just academics, everybody go take your voucher and go wherever you feel like.
Please do.
This is not about that. They want to make it that way on the surface, but this is really about athletics. This is really a staunch athletic issue where you got basically legalized recruiting. It's not about, hey, you go use your voucher, go over here, and we understand that this is about schools, and let's just be honest, calling guys and going, hey, you got a voucher now. You can bring your voucher. We'll take your voucher and you come here and play at our school and whatever, however you want to work it out. That is the crux of the matter. If anybody says anything different, it's fabricated. I'll just put it that way. That's where the line in the sand is being drawn.
And that's the line that I understand. I get that. I don't know the proper way of administering that. And
that's why they all got to get in a room and figure it out.
Well, and but the reason that I'm so much, let's get in the room and let's get this right, is for the kids that are in a failing school system that for generations can't get it right. And they've got all kinds of excuses on why they can't get it right. But at the end of the day, that parent doesn't care. That parent that's living in an area that can't get it right wants their kids educated the same as you and I do. And they deserve, if they're paying taxes,
and that's what it was designed to do. And nobody's complaining about that.
I'm a staunch conservative. Let me throw that out there. I am all for, but I am pro kids, and I'm pro kids getting the best opportunity to get themselves in a better situation than they're in now. That's the reason I support it. But when you throw the athletic thing in, I don't have a good answer. The only thing I can tell you is how the gray area of this game is played now. And you can like it or dislike it. And some of the problems I've had with some of the news reporters out there is they like to pick and choose which programs they're for and those that they're against. And I'm not going to bring up particular schools, but I'm going to bring up a couple of years ago in South Alabama. It's real funny that one school got ostracized and all the rest of them down there doing the exact same thing. I have no problem calling out the one that's not abiding by the rules. But let's be honest and not be a hypocrite. And let's point to the other 7 that are winning championships down there that are doing the exact same thing. As long as we're not being hypocritical, I can have the conversation. But the moment that everyone thinks that, oh, no, we're doing it right, and they're not, look, I've been around this long enough to tell you most of the time that's not true.
In the main issue with this, the having to sit out a year, if you use it, you can't go transfer immediately. In that, the main issue that Will Ainsworth is having with this is that the HSA saying if you use that voucher, you got to wait a year to go to that school or to compete at that school.
That is exactly right, and
Okay,
that's the part of it that I'm 50-50 on.
The part the HSA is having a concern about is that
they should
moving immediately using the voucher program. So all right, we're up against a break. We can talk about this some more.
We'll hit on this after the season.
Yeah,
but right now,
but nobody knows anything right now. So
that's right.
This is just friendly banter back and forth. And here's what I can say is I think that, what's going on with the HSA in the meetings this past week, I don't know how any of them went, but the fact that you're trying to bring the players in and discuss how you can do things better is a great first step. And I don't know what will come out of it. But, there's some things that need to be changed. Just because you've done it the way you've done it forever doesn't mean it's the best way anymore. So there's a lot of things to look at. And, if you were to separate private and public, how does that affect classifications? How does that affect regions? You got to think about all that too, the geography and the travel. And look, we went not too long ago, we were talking about the expense on these schools having to travel all over the place. We were in a region one year where we had to go down to Rehoboth, man. And it's like, how did we get stuck in this region? How is it? Because you're trying to take the teams that you have in each classification and divide them up equally in regions. And it just happened to be that was a 7-team region that everybody was spread out all over the place. So, and 7A feels that way every year. Like 7A, they do a rotation in playoffs. The Mobile region and the Huntsville region are matched up the first round this year. So 2 teams are from Huntsville and 2 teams from Mobile are going to pass each other, going to opposite ends of this state to play a first-round playoff game in a couple of weeks, man. I don't have a right answer, but, they're trying to make it fair by going, okay, we're not going to match up Birmingham and Huntsville every year and East Alabama and Mobile every year in the first round and eliminate somebody that's probably a good football team. You know what I mean? So they're trying to figure it out. There's no correct answer. So, all right, we'll go to a break. When we come back, a lot more to come here on the Saturday Sports Countdown.
Lake Martin now has a global connection for the best in pre-owned vehicles. The all-new Global Auto Exchange is now open on Cherokee Road in Alex City next to Cazador's Restaurant and is excited to serve Lake Martin with the finest pre-owned car, truck, and SUV selection at the market's most competitive prices and most versatile finance options. Global Auto handpicks all their inventory, and with 4 lots in the region, they have a selection that won't be beat. Whether pre-owned luxury to affordable work truck, Global Auto has the vehicle for you. We reward good credit and can work with challenge credit to get you the ride you want. Visit the all-new Global Auto on Cherokee Road, Alex City for the best selection, pricing, and inventory.
Satterfield Outdoor Living is Lake Martin's trusted friend for your outdoor land and leisure needs. We're the region's authorized Skag mower dealer for residential and commercial lawns and offer all the small engine accessories you need with top lines of Steel, Echo, Shindaiwa, Husqvarna, and Metabo products that can tame any landscape. Satterfield is also your grill headquarters with Big Green Egg Grill, and our pros service everything in-house and back up all sales. Get the Satterfield Outdoor difference on Highway 280 right across from Tallapoosa Ford.
Hillary Towers may very well be the Lake Martin area's best kept secret. An affordable senior citizens community located on Highway 22 East in Alexander City. Spacious 1-bedroom units are currently available. Great location, peaceful setting, comfortable living where pets are allowed and utilities are included. Call today for more information on the newly renovated Hillary Towers, 256-329-0552. 256-329-0552. Hillary Towers, 22 East, Alexander City.
Sign Source is your local vendor for commercial and residential sign manufacturing and installation. We offer all kinds of lighted and non-lighted signage, from retail signs, LED message centers, event banners, vehicle wraps, the whole spectrum. We also offer service and repair on existing signs, as well as retrofitting to LED or installation of outsourced signage. We have the knowledge necessary to fulfill all of your signage needs in the short or long term. Visit signsourcenow.com to get started.
At Central Alabama Community College, we provide a quality education that will set you up for success. Whether you're pursuing a degree or advancing your career with technical training, TAC offers premier programs at 4 campuses in Alexander City, Childersburg, Prattville, and Talladega. From industrial, electronics to machining, our students are prepared for the workforce or further education. At CAC, you'll enjoy vibrant campus life, exciting athletics, and personalized support, all at an affordable price. Your future starts here at CAC. Apply today.
Visit our new locations in Gadsden and Oxford today.
To the Sports Blitz Saturday Sports Countdown presented by JR Sports Bar and Grill and Sunshine Heating and Air. Talked to Kevin Keel this week, man. They're doing great, and he's a big Chambers Academy guy, man. They just keep rolling, and so they've got some decisions they need to make too, moving in, and so they're part of discussions. And AISA was brought to the table, so we don't know what's going to happen. Like, everybody is discussing what they feel like, and they'll probably both sides come up with things that they would like to have. And then you come to a compromise in the middle, and everybody walks away going, okay, we I didn't get everything I wanted, but I got this, and then you figure out a way to compete and, coexist. I remember when, you were going to a 7 classification system, you had pros and cons. You had people going, well, I don't know, why are we doing this, and, this doesn't make sense for this, and this. And you come to the table and you go, okay, well, I get it. There won't be as many schools in that classification, but we needed to separate these super schools, super enrollment schools away from, the discrepancy in the top classification was just way too big. So, and I know as you work your way down, there's still discrepancies. And, when you get in the lower classification, sometimes you see it even more because, if you're competing at the top and you got 150 students in 1A, and then you get down to the bottom of 1A and you got 40 or 30. I mean, that's a big discrepancy too. And you're not but there's no utopian answer for all this. So it's just the way it is. Glenn said, I have a niece at a school that wants to be a nurse, but the school has no program or college classes at all. So there in fact is why that you have this. It's turned into an athletics thing because that's what everybody does. They use tools to get an advantage to go do things, and that's where they saw it. Like, people are always trying to find loopholes and ways to take something and make it into something else. But what Glenn just said is the reason the legislature voted for that. It was not about athletics. It was about academics. It was about being in a failing school system and going to a school system that has the things that you want or need for your career. But now we've spun this thing into being an athletic deal because you've involved vouchers and money, and now you can move people around to come play. Like, that is exactly what it's become.
Amen, Glenn. Look, I was in a meeting with the state workforce development leader this week, and I'll throw this out there. The number one job opening right now in the state of Alabama, the biggest problem they have is healthcare, and it's nursing.
It'll continue to be a problem.
And 2 of our major cities, I'll give you this, Glenn, they said in 2 of our biggest hospitals in the state, one had 80 openings, the other had 150 openings. They had 0 resumes in hand for those nursing positions they need. 80 in one, 150 in the other.
You know what? That should scare the hell out of everybody watching this and listening, because all this stuff we're talking about, doesn't matter if you don't have good health care in your country. That's all of our livelihoods. It doesn't matter what neighborhood you live in, doesn't matter what city you live in, doesn't matter what school you go to. If you got bad health care, it doesn't matter. I mean, and so you got that big a shortage going on, and I don't see that getting better either. So, all right, we're not going to go back down this path. We've talked enough politics for 40 minutes here on the show, so we're going to get to high school football. It's why we're here this morning, and we'll dive into our game first, as we don't normally 40 minutes in start discussing our game, but we had a good game last night at Chelsea, and Wildcats end up winning 42-21, a very game and gritty Chelsea team. Wildcats finish off the region undefeated as region champs. They have one game left against Percy Julian on Thursday night. So this coming up Thursday will be the final home game or final game of the regular season for Benjamin Russell. And then we'll head into the playoffs. And, of course, we're going to go through all the scores here in just a minute. But just your thoughts, obviously some superlatives last night that we want to highlight, namely Baby J with another pick six, Kingston Preyer with another great night throwing the football, BJ Bedgood going up a notch, if that's even possible, in the way he's playing. I mean, this team just continues to improve every week.
Well, first I'll start with Chelsea. I just want to say what a beautiful facility they have there now. And you and I have got a lot of friends over there. I've got family over there, but I'll start with our good friend Michael Stallings, who's the athletic director. Brett, what a job, man. I mean, to go there 10 years ago and then to go back there now, it's eye-opening how nice that facility is. And it takes a lot of work and effort by the community. And I was very, very impressed. And they had a good football team last night. Over to our team, first half, you could play much better in Kingston Preyer. I'd like to see it. I know that
8 of 13 in the first half.
8 of 13 for 209 and 2 touchdowns. The only reason it wasn't a third touchdown is because BJ put a knee down maybe at the 1 yard line, catching the ball as he had to go low. It was really, really close. And, it was good for Jai, who was our player of the game last night, because he got to walk it into the end zone from about a half yard out. But that wasn't the only one that he had last night. Jai Norris, our offensive player of the game, had 131 yards rushing, 3 touchdowns. He had a 75-yarder to close things out in the fourth quarter when Chelsea had fought their way back to a one-score game, 28-21. And we get the football back, and Jai seals it with that long run. Great kid, Brett. I'm telling you, when I go up and take a photo of him to give him player of the game, just smiling and a wonderful demeanor, and so many of our kids are that way. But Jai was our offensive player of the game, and then on the defensive side, it could be every week. We try to mix it up.
This guy's unbelievable.
But you couldn't mix it up last night. I mean, if you didn't give it to Charles Chappelle, you weren't trying to actually name a player of the game. He was the best player on the football field, in my opinion, last night.
I think he made every tackle on the field. It was in on everything.
So physical, but also his ability to close down space. Brett's been calling ball games with me for 22 years now. The thing that impresses me the most about linebacker play is not only downhill play. I've seen a lot of great downhill linebackers, especially in high school game, but they're not really good in pass coverage. And they're not really good playing sideline to sideline because they don't have the speed and the athleticism to make plays when it gets on the perimeter. But I don't know what other people are watching. From my opinion, Charles Chappelle deserves a big-time college scholarship. If he's not good enough to play at Troy or somewhere like that, hell, I'm watching the wrong game. And maybe he has those type of offers out there. But for my money, he's one of the best linebackers in the state of Alabama. I love the way he carries himself. He's a tremendous leader. He's not a rah-rah guy. He's more of just watch me play and get behind me, and I'm going to carry you to the promised land. And you and I called his championship game last year at Catholic. He had 14 tackles and 1 INT in that one, and he just gets better. Every time I watch him, I think, can he get better? And he does.
All right, let's go to break for TV. I'm a little over here, so we'll come back. We'll continue to talk about this and a lot more here on the Saturday Sports Countdown.
You've dreamed about the perfect house, a place to call your own, and a place to not only stretch out, but to grow. Auto Owners protects your house because to you, it's home. That's simple human sense. Happy to help, man. I was just over there talking to myself anyway.
There's only one option for top-of-the-line aftermarket upgrades on your vehicle, and that's Frontline Outfitters. We offer quality parts, lift kits, custom wheels and tires, bed covers, step bars, and toolboxes that are installed by trained and skilled professionals, to custom powder coating with hundreds of colors and finishes, to the highest quality film for window tinting using state-of-the-art film cutting technology. Call Frontline Outfitters at 256-409-8100. Don't be in the back of the line. Put your vehicle at the front with Frontline Outfitters.
I'm Joseph Dean with Lake Martin Funeral Home and Cremation in Dadeville. We're located at 16797 Highway 280, which is on the corner of 280 and 49 North. With an on-site crematory in Opelika and a cemetery in Tallapoosa County, we are a full-service funeral home. To get in touch with us, feel free to come by or call us, 256-750-0381. And for any other questions, you can visit the website at lakemartinfuneralhome.com.
With football here, Martin's at Lake Martin is ready with the lake's best place for sports, fun, and entertainment. With your favorite teams on over 20 big screens. And Martin's is now open 7 days a week. Monday, trivia night. Tuesday, open cornhole tournaments. Wednesday, free pool. Thursday, our huge bingo night with food trucks. And every Friday and Saturday, live entertainment with food trucks. Sunday, enjoy NFL ticket with hot dogs and chili. This football season, make the best game plan. Go to Martin's on 34 in Dadeville, where every hour is happy hour.
There's only one clear choice in the Lake Martin area for plumbing, heating, and air. That's All Clear Plumbing and Air. Our professionally trained technicians offer full-service repair and installation on all major brands, from drips to water heaters, thermostats to entire air conditioning and heating systems, and everything in between. Our fast, reliable, and guaranteed top-notch customer service will keep you informed and up to speed through the entire process. Call us today or look for us on Facebook and Instagram at All Clear Plumbing and Air, 256-496-2056. License number 19172.
Looking to transform your outdoor space? Look no further than Bama Sheds. As a family-owned and operated business, we understand your needs. That's why we offer no credit check, rent-to-own options. Enjoy free delivery and setup within 35 miles of our 4 convenient locations. Whether you need a shed, pole barn, garage, or carport, we've got you covered. Visit our website at bamasheds.com or call 256-268-8484. Bama Sheds, where quality meets affordability and your outdoor dreams become reality.
Get a chance to talk to him, but he's like, that was crazy to watch that.
Tucker was sending me some updates on Stanhope and Wetumpka. How did that one finish, Brett? I got
it right here.
Good.
We got it. Yeah,
that's a good football game.
Welcome back, everyone, to the Sports Blitz Saturday Sports Countdown, presented by JR Sports Bar and Grill and Sunshine Heating and Air. A couple segments left here in the first hour before we dive into hour number 2. We'll get to some comments over here, just continuing on, just giving some of the best teams in 6A and, of course, in the South. Benjamin Russell, Pike Road, Saraland, obviously, are 3 that definitely stick out. So there's 7 or 8 teams right there that are really, really solid in 6A. We'll talk about some playoff scenarios here in just a little bit. Glenn said, I thought number 9 was going to be a walk penalty flag. But the kid lets the game speak. But here's the deal. He made a play last night where he saw the center move the football for Chelsea. And he started pointing immediately and turned around and got the officials' attention. It's like, hey, he's moving the ball. You know, you can't do that. And he's causing maybe some of our guys to want to get a jump. And he enticed that flag. And obviously the center was still sitting there, and they walked up to him, and it was a false start based on moving the footballs. But like, and I said it in the broadcast, like his football IQ is off the chart, man. Like he's aware, like everything, and getting people aligned correctly. And it is such a invaluable asset to have a middle linebacker who's the quarterback of your defense that's that knowledgeable about everything going on and making sure everybody's in the best position for every particular snap on every play. So I again, you got to have a good quarterback on offense, and Ben Russell does, but you got to have a good quarterback on defense, and they got a great one in Charles Chappelle. Justin asked about Tyrone and Charles being better than El Toro. Look, I think all three of them had different qualities, and I think all three of them were outstanding. Like, El Toro's still the highest-rated player now outside of Sedarian. Sedarian, I think, is taking that mantle now, but both were 5 stars. And again, I think El Toro's his career spoke for itself. He won a national title. That ain't happened very often at Auburn. And he played on that team. So, yeah, I think – and then unfortunately for Tyrone, he was going to be a stud player at Auburn, but got hurt on the opening kickoff of the USC game on the road with a severe stinger and never was cleared by medical staff after that. He was one of 3 freshmen Auburn took on the road that night or that day to take on USC. And it's unfortunate that we didn't get to see him play out like we thought we could. But, then coming to Charles, like you said, Randy, making a plea for this kid to get a big time. He is absolutely in the category with those two for sure. And both of them got big time college offers.
Yeah, I mean, if the question is size, I think he might be as big, if not bigger, than all of them.
I think so.
I think so. I mean, and, El Toro was a highlight reel. He was just a straight-up highlight reel on the football field. And he had to play in the middle, but it probably wasn't the ideal spot for him. I'll say that. If he was a weak side backer with the athleticism he had, he was
but you had to put him there because of what he was able to do.
I mean, in high school ball, you don't want him running away from you. So you got to stick. It's like you talking to Jarquez.
Guys, I was just about to say the same thing.
You don't have a choice. So you put Jarquez Wilkes at defensive end. Hell, they run to the opposite side of the field every snap, and so you got to put him in the middle. And El Toro was that way. I mean, he was a lot of fun to cover, and always, with his athleticism, was going to make 2 or 3 plays a game where everybody in the crowd knew what they were watching.
Yep. Yeah, no doubt about it. All right, let's get to some scores. We'll start in 7A. Auburn knocked off Dothan 39-26.
Hey, they're getting their offense going, Brett.
Yeah, they are.
It's taken a little while with the quarterback moving over, and but they're playing much better on the offensive side. So I don't know that they're good enough to get through Phoenix City and those teams, but it is a much better version of this Auburn team than we saw midway through the season.
Yeah, and I know we got to get to another break. Patrick said this was Chelsea's Super Bowl. They haven't played like that all season. And look, rightfully so. They knew there was no playoffs, so they probably said, look, Ben Russell's the region champs. You guys have an opportunity to go out here and spoil something for them and us end on a high note. And they played great for 4 quarters. So, yeah.
Oh, I'll tell you this. I'll give one more. The tip of the cap to Chelsea. Chelsea played last night without their number 1 running back, and their number 2 running back went down halfway through the game. So they played as well as they did, really without a number of their key kids. So I was impressed.
Yeah. All right, let's go to break. For TV, we come back. We'll continue with scores. Stay tuned. More of the Saturday Sports Countdown right after this.
Two Rivers Lumber Company has a proud heritage in the state of Alabama and is excited to announce we are opening a new facility in the Lake Martin area late 2025. Our company specializes in southern yellow pine dimension lumber, and we plan to employ over 150 in our new community of Lake Martin. Two Rivers Lumber Company is a family-run business with over 45 years of service to the state. And we are happy to become a part of the Lake Martin community and want to wish the best of luck to all area athletic teams in all competitions. Two Rivers Lumber, Lake Martin's newest community partner, coming soon.
Main Street Family Urgent Care. Main Street Family Care offers a wide array of services that allows them to treat many conditions, and they also offer primary care. In addition to these services, they also offer DOT physical exams, lab testing, sports physicals, and vaccines. They accept most major insurance plans, including Medicaid. Main Street Family Care opens 7 days a week. Main Street Family Urgent Care. Heal better, feel better fast.
What makes Zaxby's Giant Chicken Finger Quesadilla so giant? Crispy fingers, sauce, and melty cheese. cheese. Zaxby's Giant Chicken Finger Quesadillas. Who's got the sauce?
Heritage South Credit Union, your community credit union, is looking for the next hometown hero. Hometown heroes could be first responders, public service workers, community leaders, pastors, community volunteers, or anyone who is making a difference in your hometown. Submit your nominations now online at myhscu.com. And if your nominee is selected, they will get a $100 Visa cash card and a certificate of appreciation from Heritage South Credit Union, your community credit union, federally insured by the NCUA.
Bundle your home and auto and save money with State Farm's personal price plan. Contact State Farm agent Ron Carroll today at 256-378-6631 or visit him on Highway 280 in Childersburg. Prices vary by state, options selected by customer availability, and eligibility may vary.
If you listen carefully, you'll hear the roads of Alabama calling, and Sarah Honda has your answer. Serving you for over 40 years with one of the largest Honda and pre-owned inventories in the state and the Sarah Promise. Our best deal when you buy or trade, a 72-hour exchange policy, a no-hassle trade-in promise. Written offers are good for 7 days. And our best service promise. Our factory-certified technicians help keep your vehicle running smoothly. That's why Alabama can be yours to discover in a new vehicle from Sarah Honda in Sylacauga.
Welcome back, everyone, to the Sports Blitz Saturday Sports Countdown presented by JR Sports Bar and Grill and Sunshine Heating and Air. Coming up on hour number 2, last segment here. Two-man said, did Carver Montgomery team give up like their coach did in scheduled Saraland matchup? Look, that was a bizarre deal all the way around this past week with the announcement of that and the comments that came out on that. But I can verify that from Jeff Kelly and Saraland, they did not mutually agree to cancel that game. If Jeff Kelly was on this show right now, he would say that. Like, there was no mutual agreement. Now, I think they said, okay, if that's what you're going to do it. But they wanted to play the football game. So, I mean, if you got something scheduled now, all of a sudden, you know, you don't have that game at the end of the season. I know it's not in region, but you still playing a football game. There's a reason you put that on the schedule. And now you don't have that ball game coming up next week.
Well, there's contracts involved and there's reputations involved when it comes down to that. So I'll kind of leave it at that. It was an odd situation, but, you know, Carver's reeling at this point in time, and I didn't see it coming. I think they've got a really solid football team, and I think they've got a good coaching staff. But here at the end of the season, Auburn really took it to them last week, and then a win by Opelika last night. Man, it's a tough region, isn't it, Brett? I mean, if you take a minor step back, let's just say you get a key player or two injured in that region, it changes the entire dynamic. And I'm not saying that's happened to them, but if I put myself in their shoes, it's a massive difference when you watch a region that's as talented as that one is.
Oh, yeah. Well, and then the same can be said for Birmingham, too. And that's what we see. All right, let's get to some of these scores. Daphne over Robertsdale, 60-13. Enterprise shutout Smith Station, 37-0. Hewitt-Trussville over Tuscaloosa County, 49-7. James Clemens over Albertville, 45-0. Opelika over Carver Montgomery, 24-14. It was Thompson over Prattville, 29-15. And Vestavia Hills over Hoover, 39-30. On Thursday night, it was Phoenix City over Jag, 62-6. Let's move down to 6A. And with 6A on Thursday night, there were several games. It was Clay Chalkville over Pinson Valley, 52-14. Oxford over Huffman, 55-6. And Parker over Woodlawn. And that was our game of the week. And Faith and I were up there this past week and talking to them and had a great sit-down conversation. They love going up and taking time to be with them, and very, very class program up there at Parker, and do it the right way. And then again, you know, going into that game, kind of knew that was going to be one that was probably going to get away. They could have scored 100, man. I've never seen. I watched the first half of that game, and it was, you know, it was more about Woodlawn more than it was Parker. I don't want to call people out, but it looked like Woodlawn just was going through the motions, man. It was kind of like, we know we're out, man, dude. Can they run the clock and get us off this field? But anyway, Parker's got a good football team, and they're the defending 6A champs, so they'll have something to say about that north side. So let's dive on down. Ben Russell again over Chelsea, 42-21. It was Blunt over St. Paul's, 34-28 last night. So that one's a little surprising to me when you look at it. Central Tuscaloosa did not only beat Hueytown, they blew them out, 37-21 when you look at it from that standpoint. So maybe that changes some things. I don't know if things were already aligned the way they were going in, but regardless, that's going to be whoever ends up being the opponent for Benjamin Russell in round one. If things were to change based off that score, it's going to be a tough opponent. It's not going to be a cakewalk first-round game. I mean, you're going to have to come out and play good football right out of the gate because everybody in that region, all four teams are talented, and they've got playmakers. And I know Central Tuscaloosa, I was told by Parker's coach, I don't watch Central Tuscaloosa. You don't either, Randy. But he told me, he said, man, they got some really good receivers. He's like, I know y'all got some great ones. But he said they got a couple too, and, they make some plays, and they're pretty dynamic. So, look, it's going to be a challenge, man.
Well, I trust the coaches you talk to, especially if they're Parker in some of these programs like Saraland, and if they say they're good, they're not just saying it so you're tuning in. I mean, they've got some dudes, and you put up 37 against a Hueytown team that always plays physical football, Brett. That's what they're known for, running it down your throat and really good, strong physical play on the defensive side. So that will be a tough opponent if that's the one we got.
And we've faced them a couple of times in the last 3 years. So they've won.
Beat them one time and lost to them one time.
Yeah, we've split. So, I mean, it's a good matchup. Helena 39, Calera 21. Helena they're a good football team. Don't look at their record. That is a good football team that is going to be the 3 seed in this region, and it's going to be a bad problem for a number 2 seed somewhere. Wherever they're traveling, that's going to be a tough game for whoever it is that draws them. So that's what you get in that 2-3 matchup. Even in the 1-4 now, it's tough. Homewood over Minor, 31-14. McGill-Tulane knocks off Spanish Fort, 45-32. This is the most losses for Spanish Fort in the season I think I can remember in a long time.
Missed the playoffs? Is that?
I think so. I think so.
Yeah, no, just not the product that we've seen in the past.
All right, Jasper 61, Columbia 22. I'll bring that one up for one reason. If Columbia loses next Friday night, that will be 100 in a row. 100 straight losses for Columbia High School. And, man, I tell you, they're trying to change some things. It is just, man, they're in a 6A bracket in that region up there, Randy. It is no rest for the weary, I can tell you that. But it's tough, and I bring that up because this has made national news. And there's a team, I think, in Minnesota that hasn't won a football game since 1999. So they do not have the longest losing streak in the country. There's a team in Minnesota that hasn't won a football game since 1999. So I want you to think about that for a second. So, man, it is mind-blowing sometimes to see some of this stuff. But Columbia's going to get over the hump one day. It's coming. They keep pounding. And, I know this is not some consolation, but last year Jasper would have beat them 80-0. It was 61-22. And I know you're going, well, man, that's still – they almost beat – I think it was East Limestone. I think it was 28-24 was the score this year. So they were right there on the cusp, and so they're getting there. Sammy Coates, the first-year head coach, he took this on, and, I think he's got a mission to turn that program around. You got to start somewhere.
He does. Difficult to just keep showing up and keep trying to get over the hump, but they're getting closer.
Muscle Shoals over Hartselle, 31-17. They scored 28 unanswered points to come back and win that game over Hartselle. That was a rival game, and just a really, really good win there for Muscle Shoals, who continues to be strong up there in the north. Russell County over Rehoboth, 49-20. Saraland over Theodore, 38-14. Spain Park over Chilton County 49-0, and Stanhope wins over Wetumpka 35-28.
Oh man, that was a good football game against two teams that are playoff.
Hey, congratulations to Hunter Adams.
Yes.
You know, man, he has turned Stanhope back around.
He sure has.
I knew it was tough sledding last year, but Hunter Adams, we know him very well, and we know what kind of coach he was at Ben Russell, and his passion is unrivaled, and he stayed the course. And like you said multiple times, there's always great athletes in Millbrook, Alabama. Well, he's taking advantage of that now, and they're coaching them up, and they're winning football games. Whereas, you go, a team gave you a game. Now they're going and they're beating teams. Now there's a difference. And so they've turned their program around down there at Stanhope.
Yeah, we knew that would be a good matchup with those two teams, really equal, and good offensive output week in and week out for Stanhope. Kevin Smith, I know, is also over there, and he's called up some great offensive teams over the years at Ben Russell and doing a great job there. And Brett, they've got one of the top running backs in the state at Stanhope. A lot of major D1 programs after that kid. So hopefully he ends up with a big scholarship offer.
All right, we're going to take a break, top of the hour. When we come back, we'll run down the rest of the scores and then look at some of this playoff stuff. Stay tuned. More of the Saturday Sports Countdown right after this.
Hi, this is Brian Bice with Bice Motors. With our all-star lineup of Dodge trucks, Jeep, SUVs, and Chrysler cars, we offer the area a team dedicated to making your next vehicle purchase a positive experience. Our sales team offers competitive pricing, and we back up all sales with a service department second to none. Bice Motors also offers the area's best selection of pre-owned vehicles. Visit Bice Motors at 2133 Cherokee Road in Alexander City.
Guaranteed lowest price. Buy it at Bice Motors.
If you haven't been to Big B Barbecue in Alex City, then you're missing the best barbecue around. Big B has everything from the best pulled or chopped pork, chicken, and beef to cheeseburgers and grilled chicken salads. Bring your friends and family out for a great dinner and sit outside on our beautiful patio, or sit inside and enjoy your meal by the fireplace. So come in and join us and enjoy the best barbecue in the area only at Big B Barbecue, located on Highway 22 West in Alex City.
At Central Alabama Community College, we provide a quality education that will set you up for success. Whether you're pursuing a degree or advancing your career with technical training, CAC offers premier programs at 4 campuses in Alexander City, Childersburg, Prattville, and Talladega. From industrial, electronics to machining, our students are prepared for the workforce or further education. At CAC, you'll enjoy vibrant campus life, exciting athletics, and personalized support, all at an affordable price. Your future starts here at CAC. Apply today.
The all-new Winter Timber is now open, located right next to the Walmart Market across from the Auburn Mall. If the outdoors is your lifestyle, Winter Timber is your new headquarters. From rifles, ammo, and hunting supplies, camo, and all the outdoor essentials, they've got it in stock and ready for you. Winter Timber is here to serve Auburn, Opelika, and the entire Lake Martin area, and they'll make the drive worth it. For the best selection and the best service in outdoor gear, one name says it all: Winter Timber, the best in outdoor needs.
Hi, I'm Abby Guy, Vice President at Riverbank and Trust. They say that most banks offer the same products, but Riverbank offers something most can't: personal connection. We love getting to know our customers by name and making them feel special with every interaction. It's a feeling of warm hospitality you won't find anywhere else. Experience it for yourself.
I'm telling you, man.
I told Wes Coleman last night, the good Lord better have me a beautiful room when I get up there, because if I didn't earn it from anybody else, I earned it through these two kids of mine. I did. I don't have to go to the pearly gates and ask, can I come in, if it's the discussion around my two kids. They have gotten every waking second of extra time that I had to give.
Here we go. All right, welcome back, everyone, to the Sports Blitz Saturday Sports Countdown, presented by JR Sports Bar and Grill and Sunshine Heating and Air. Two men said Luke may have his Halloween hair on. There's a good, he just got out a bit. He literally just said it. So we'll see how that all plays out here in just a minute. All right, continuing on down through some 6A scores. Gulf Shores over Baldwin County, 31-12. Let's see, who else did I not talk about? I think that's all of them there, pretty much of 6A. Let's go to 5A. Beauregard over Valley, 14-7. That was a shock because Valley been playing pretty good. Beauregard knocks them off. Briarwood over Hayden, 49-7. Catholic over Andalusia, 23-17. Elmore County over Sylacauga, 42-14. Moody over Lincoln, 48-6. UMS Wright over Faith Academy, 51-6. Viger over BC Rain, 28-6. Williamson over LaFleur, who just took over the reins at number 1 at 5A, shuts out LaFleur 28-0. So there's you some scores in 5A. In Class 4A, Hanley over Booker T. Washington, 42-12. Cherokee County over Asheville, 42-18. Pleasant Grove over Bibb County, 49-46. St. James over Munford, 24-12. St. Michael over Orange Beach, 49-7. Tallahassee shuts out Talladega, 35-0. Don't know if there's any more of really a note to talk about there in 4A. Down in Class 3A, it was Bayside Academy knocking off T.R. Miller, 23-14. Dayville gets a win. That's going to get them in the playoffs. 33-10 over Childersburg, Randy. So another one of our local teams going to find their way into the playoffs there.
It's a tough region they're matched up in. So you look down and their record may not look as good as you expect, but how many games they lose in overtime to start the season, Brett? 2 or 3 of them.
They lost 2, and then they lost a couple more one-score games, like within 3.
So that is a 1-4 matchup in the first round. It's going to be difficult for somebody.
Yeah, they're again like a Helena. Don't look at their record. It's a little bit better football team. Mars Hill shut out Clements 52-0. Lee Scott over BB Comer 36-8. Gordo over Carbon Hill 61-25. Trinity over Houston Academy 17-14. There's some scores there in Class 2A. Lafayette over Horseshoe Bend 38-0. Like, thought that one may have a chance to be a win for Horseshoe Bend. You know, when you looked at Lafayette and looked at this game coming up with Woodland, but to get shut out, Randy, I just was a little bit taken back.
Well, you know, 2A is going to be a real good classification to watch once we get to the playoffs. I don't point to one team like Reeltown last year where I thought they were going to have to play really poorly not to win the state championship. Doesn't feel that way this year, does it, Brett? I mean, there's some good teams. There's 5 or 6 teams in 2A, I think, that can win. And I see Luke, you look good. You don't look like, you know, you got your hair kind of in the right spot.
Well, I just had to wet it pretty good because when you drive in to Birmingham from Alex City after doing the scoreboard show, and you don't get to sleep immediately. You've just been driving for an hour and something. So then you turn around and your dog has to go out, and your 9-year-old daughter gets in the bed and kicks you in the groin. After all that, you get about 45 minutes worth of sleep till right now. And then I woke up and I looked at the clock. I said it's 7:58. I said, my God. So here we go.
Well, Luke, I know you feel my pain, but I got to get on the road to head to Macon, Georgia. I'm
doing it just a little bit.
Yeah, we're chasing it, Brett. I'm telling you. So I'll be tuning into y'all.
See you, buddy.
Yeah, and I told them, Luke, before you got on, I was a few hours shy of a straight 24-hour one for me yesterday. I got up at 3:00 yesterday to go to Hope Hull, Alabama, to the fishing tournament between Auburn and Alabama, and then drove back to Auburn, back to Alex City to Chelsea last night to call a game, and then back home. And I was just a couple hours shy of being up.
Who won the fishing tournament?
Auburn did by 9 pounds. So, but it was.
Is that a lot?
Hey, here's the cool thing. I think if Faith and I, if our weight would have counted, we'd have won it.
Oh wow!
Because we had like 18 pounds, and I think she caught the biggest fish of the day. She had one over 6, so she went down there and kind of showed everybody how to do it. So, but I'm gonna take credit for it, Luke, because I had to put her in the right spot to do it, man. She's like, but,
Toolman said Luke may have his Halloween hair on. No, that's naturally that dark. Honest to God.
That I don't think he's talking about the darkness of it. I think he's talking about the.
Well, hey, look, I did wet it. I mean, I did the best I could do, bro.
Where it's all just kind of everywhere.
I know. Listen, I sleep the way I live, very restlessly. It's me versus the bed all night. You know, it's been probably 4 or 5 decades, literally, since I slept in a bed and that corner fitted sheet didn't come out. I rip that puppy to shreds every night. I don't even know how it survives.
How does that thing, I mean, it never stays down. So it's the most frustrating thing in the world. So, all right, let's go ahead and go to break here. We come back. We pretty much ran down through the scores, Luke, and we come back. We'll dive into college football. A lot to talk about here in the last 40 minutes or so of the show. So stay tuned. More of the Saturday Sports Countdown right after this.
When you want quality, selection, price, superior financing, and a pain-free buying experience, look no further than Sons Automotive Group of Montgomery and Auburn. Sons of Montgomery offers the best selection of Kias, Chryslers, Dodges, Jeeps, and Ram trucks. Conveniently located on Eastern Boulevard, Sons Ford of Auburn is the region's Ford volume dealer. And when you shop at any Sons location, they will maximize all incentives and financing options for anyone's credit. Whether Kia, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, or Ram in Montgomery, or Ford in Auburn, Sons Automotive treats you like family because they are family driven.
If you're tired of the same old and you're hungry for something really good, then it's time to go to JR's Sports Bar and Grill. JR's has the best fingers and wings around, and their menu is loaded with appetizers, burgers, salads, and so much more. Follow JR's on their Facebook to keep up with their live music events and drink specials. And if after a long day you just want to stay in, remember JR's delivers. Call in your order at 256-329-2328. JR Sports Bar and Grill, 145 Alabama Street in Alexander City. Adams Motorsports of Montgomery knows it's the best time to ride. Right now, get the best deals on all of our Suzuki and Kawasaki street bikes, side-by-sides, four-wheelers, and dirt bikes. Adams Motorsports has it all, and our inventory is vast. Get out there, ride the streets and trails, and let Adams Motorsports make your pleasure our business. With family customer service and service after the sale. It's time to ride, so come see us on Eastern Boulevard in Montgomery or online at adamsmotorsports.com.
Inspired by the bold bison, Southern Union students blaze new trails every single day. They press forward knowing their SU education will lead them to success. Affordable, accessible, and locally unparalleled. Whether you're transitioning to a university or launching straight into a lucrative career, a degree from SU SDC can help you blaze your path. 3 locations, dedicated faculty and staff, endless possibilities. It's all waiting for you at Southern Union. It's time to venture forward. Register today.
Lee Apparel is your go-to vendor for screen printed and embroidered apparel and promotional products. We print and embroider free custom-made graphics or outsourced designs on everything from t-shirts, headwear, corporate wear, team sportswear, high-end safety apparel, and promotional products. At Lee Apparel, you can always expect quick turnaround time, competitive pricing, friendly customer service, and free in-hands delivery on all orders. Visit us at leeapparel.com to get started.
There's only one clear choice in the Lake Martin area for plumbing, heating, and air. That's All Clear Plumbing and Air. Our professionally trained technicians offer full service repair and installation on all major brands. From drips to water heaters, thermostats to entire air conditioning and heating systems, and everything in between. Our fast, reliable, and guaranteed top-notch customer service will keep you informed and up to speed through the entire process. Call us today or look for us on Facebook and Instagram at All Clear Plumbing and Air, 256-496-2056. License number 19172.
Welcome back, everyone, to the Sports Blitz Saturday Sports Countdown presented by JR Sports Bar and Grill and Sunshine Heating and Air. About 40 minutes left on the show today. Real quick comment there from Tony. Zach Goodson had 2 interceptions in the second half last night for Stanhope. First was a pick 6. The second set up game-winning TD. But D. Barnes, man, is playing outstanding. He is one of the best running backs in the state. and a big win for Stanhope last night. So I think D had a massive game last week, had like PlayStation numbers, but again, no Hunter Adams real well down there at Stanhope. Done a tremendous job of getting that program turned around and getting things back on track for Stanhope. They always have good talent, and he's finally got Stanhope playing good football again. Luke, before we get into college, anything that you want to comment on about high school? I know you were on the scoreboard show last night. Anything? I know we just kind of talked about that Birmingham region a little bit, maybe a little bit about the East Alabama region as well in 7A, but anything else stand out?
I mean, I guess the one thing was just seeing that Wadley and Maplesville is still on that collision course. And that's – you don't normally say the 1A game is the game you got to watch when you go to the state championships, but this may be, assuming everything just stays the course. Maplesville is really good. I called them early. And, of course, Wadley, they have one or two fabulous players. And this would be a rematch of last year's state championship, and Wadley sort of ran all over them with Jaquez Wilkes. But I think this year it's Wadley's out. Maplesville's out for blood, and Wadley, of course, still want to defend that championship. That's going to be something to watch.
Yeah, it's going to be a fun one. I think that's going to be a phenomenal football game. Of course, they got to get there, but like you said, I think it's inevitable unless something just crazy happens. It's a collision course. I'd like to get your take real quick before we dive into college about Carver and Saraland. That garnered a lot of news this past week, and Carver canceling that football game or getting out of that game, and then something coming out, mutual agreement there, and I think there was some pushback there from Saraland saying we didn't want out of the game, they wanted out, and so forth. So just kind of your opinion on teams canceling games right at the end of the season after they've been scheduled for so long.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not a fan. I mean, it's I think it goes against the spirit of everything. I think there was another game that was canceled last night, at least in the top 10. We never got the score for it, and it said cancel out to the side with a question mark, the guy who was keep getting the scores for us.
Right.
And I just, my question is why? I mean, it's not a region game, so it really wouldn't have affected much, I don't imagine, and unless there was some kind of tiebreaker that they were worried about. But, the whole idea is to play this game. I mean,
you only get 10 of them.
Yeah, you only get 10 regular season games. And why on earth would you not want to play one? Now, there may be some good reason. Maybe everybody on the team had COVID. Maybe 50% of the team had COVID. Maybe there were a lot of things.
Well, Carver played last night, so they didn't have COVID.
Well, yeah. Saraland beat Theodore last night, right? I think I saw that. I guess they scheduled them last second.
Yeah. Well, no, this is for next week.
For next week. Sorry. Okay.
Game. Yeah. This is supposed to be next week's game.
Okay.
They got canceled. So
I mean, what is the reasoning? Is anybody given a reason? I haven't seen one.
I haven't seen anything other than Carver just wanted to cancel the game. So I don't know.
So,
it's just a little odd.
What I worry about then is this going to – and again, this is what I worry about when it's all in the playoffs or nothing, right? And let me equate it to the Iron Bowl for a second. Here's a scenario I can certainly envision that doesn't seem crazy at all. It seems less crazy every Saturday now. But let's say Alabama wins out until it gets to the Iron Bowl. And let's say Auburn drops another one or another two or whatever when they limp into the Iron Bowl, and let's say that they've made a coaching change. Again, none of this is crazy. So it's not like these have low percentages. Then, Auburn's going to hire a new guy, or maybe they still have Hugh, whatever, and they'll come out like their hair's on fire because that game means everything. And let's say Alabama's like, well, why in the world would we play all of our starters, anybody who's even remotely banged up, and why would we put all of our eggs into beating this team if it doesn't matter at all? And it won't, because if Alabama goes to Atlanta and wins the SEC, they're still going to be one of the top 4 seeds. Nobody's going to even blink an eye. And see, I grew up in Alex City, so the Iron Bowl means something to me. So I don't ever want it to not mean nothing.
I totally agree.
And so I'm just saying, everybody who clamored for all this expansion and it's all about the play. This is what you get. You get teams. again, logic just tells me it's Carver going, hey, I don't understand why we're playing this game right before the playoffs. If it is next week, it's the week before the playoffs. Why are we playing this game when it doesn't do anything for us? We should play some kind of dented soup can, and or just not play them at all. It's a lot like players sitting out the bowl games, and that will trickle down into the regular season.
We've definitely seen things change, man.
And
like
then
philosophies and all that. So,
and again, it's one of those things where it's against the spirit of the rule. We all know this. We all know it's against the spirit of the game. But something else that's been against the spirit of the game is feigning injuries. And every team that I know has been guilty of that. And because you had to be guilty of it, because other teams were doing it. And if you didn't do it, it was going to burn you. So because everybody else is doing it, you had to follow suit. And now they've come up with a rule where they try to determine if they think you're faking it or not think you're faking it. And it's hard to put a rule in because every time I go, you know what they should do is say, if the player gets hurt and we have to stop play, that player has to come out the remainder of the drive. That seems like common sense to me. But what if the player really is hurt and he's a really important player and he's like, I can't come out no matter how hurt I am, I can't come out. And then the very next play, he gets hurt a lot worse. You know what I mean? It's a sticky wicket.
Yeah, you tried, like you say, in the spirit of the rule, try to do everything the right way, but you got people that take advantage of that. And, we got into a discussion in the first hour about the CARES Act, or the CHOOSE Act, rather. And the spirit of the rule is to help kids go find a school that they can go get a program that they need or get out of a failing school district and go to another one. In the spirit of the rule, it's great. But now, of course, people are going to use it for nefarious reasons, especially through athletics. Oh, come over here with your voucher. You can play for us. Now you start recruiting based on now you got kids with vouchers. Now you can get them into different places, private schools, other schools, whatever. So
and then they spin it. They spin it. They almost gaslight you. They're like, well, this is helping that player because he's coming to a school with better facilities and blah, blah, blah. Right. And you're like, yeah, but that's not really, we really weren't running for this. I mean, we were trying to make it, and it's like any other program that is supposed to assist people. I mean, welfare or anything, Social Security, where you're like, okay, oh man, Social Security is working great. We got all this money. So you know what we could do? We could help out this section too. We could just use a little bit of that money. And then you do that about 150,000 times. The next thing you know, Social Security is going to be broke by the time we get old enough.
Yeah, I don't see any of that. So.
And we've been contributing to it this whole time.
That's right. No, you're exactly right. I think it's a valid point. I mean, people, when you have money involved, when there's money involved and everything that we've just talked about in this last 10-minute segment, there's a lot of money involved. When you got that, people are going to try to find a way to get their portion, and they're going to go to extreme measures to find loopholes and do whatever they got to do to get their portion of it. So,
plus really quickly, nobody believes anything they're told unless it aligns with their beliefs.
Of course,
nobody. There's a Twitter page called SEC Exposed or something, and because the SEC or somebody tweeted out something saying, man, the SEC, look, have you seen the teams that are most watched in the country? It's Alabama 1, Tennessee 2, Georgia 3, LSU 4. It was like all SEC teams, right? Yeah. And then Ohio State was like number 8. And they were like, well, of course that's the way it is because Disney controls everything. So they put them all on TV so the other teams don't get seen. And nobody wants to believe anything unless it aligns with what you believe.
No, it's exactly right. You're exactly right. And, you look at things differently. I look at things differently now in my role of what I do every day with Auburn. I think if Faith was on here with us, she'd say the same thing. I'm still an Auburn fan. Obviously, I grew up in Auburn. I always pull for Auburn. That'll never leave. But when you're on the beat every day and when you're covering somebody, you got to take your emotion out of it. And some people can't do that. And I've had to learn to do that. And, now you get in a mode of you got to look and see, well, maybe that's not the best way to do things. Maybe that, and then it's my job on Saturday night and Faith's job on Saturday night to sit on the front row and ask tough questions. And I get text all the time, like, well, you don't hold back. I'm like, well, I'm not supposed to. I'm not in there just for fun. And so But some people can't remove themselves from that, especially Luke, I know you do the Locked On side. You've been doing Sports Blitz with us for a lot longer than that. And I know you're extremely passionate about Alabama. I don't think anybody, and I know it'd be tough for you to do the same thing, to sit in there and face Kalen DeBoer and ask him a tough question if you had to. I mean,
that's why I don't want to. Hey, that's why I'm purposely, I tell Jimmy all the time, he's like, well, we could get past this and do this. And I'm like, I don't want to do that. I'd want to be a fan who comments. And if I'm ignorant about something, people are just going to have to forgive me. Meaning, like, if I don't know the deeper side of something, and people are just going to have to forgive us. And if they don't, they'll get over it. I mean, it's because when you, like you said, you were there every day and is watching the sausage be made, and it sort of takes it's like, wow, I don't, this is sort of bad. I mean, and it's not because it's Auburn and you're seeing, and they're having a bad season. It would be that way if they were having a great season, and you would see something, maybe you would see a side of some of these players or coaches that you go, wow, he's really not a good dude. And we all have players on our teams and coaches on our teams that aren't good dudes. So sometimes when you get in there and you see the inner workings, it's sort of like, I don't love this.
It's different. Again, we were able to cut loose and do what we need to do on Auburn Blitz, but also being a little bit more in depth and being in the know and providing that information firsthand, has been the route that we've gone. And I think it's worked out. But yeah, it's different, when you're around it every day. There's no question about it. There absolutely no question.
There's pluses and minuses to both sides.
Everything. There's no question. All right, up against the break for TV. Stay tuned. A lot more to come right after this.
This spring and summer, make your land, farming, lawn, and landscaping needs have zero risk and 100% success with Lake Martin Tractor and Outdoor. With 0% financing on all our Mahindra tractors, many with up to 84-month terms. Our inventory of Mahindra tractors and farm implements is beefed up, and more are coming in daily. We also have extended 0% terms on Spartan mowers to handle your mowing needs with the best and zero-turn mowers priced to move. At Lake Martin Tractor and Outdoor, your authorized Mahindra and Spartan dealer. L&M Pawn and Gun, located in the USA Factory Stores in Opelika, is East Alabama and West Georgia's complete gun, tactical, and pawn shop. It invites the region to shop over 500 firearms in stock, on the floor, and ready for sale at the market's best values. At L&M Pawn and Gun, we specialize in all tactical guns, equipment, and parts, including AK-47 and AR-15s. Specialized parts for tactical guns as well as suppressors and other parts you can't find anywhere. L&M Pawn and Gun has it all in the USA Factory Stores in Opelika, or shop online, lmpawnandgun.com.
Alex City and west side of the lake. It's time to celebrate because the all-new Lake Martin Pizza is open with the area's best pizza, and it's just down Highway 63 South in our town. Lake Martin Pizza of Highway 63 has a huge outdoor seating area with enclosed heated comfort, a full bar with cold beer, wine, and full spirit selection with family ownership and fun for the whole family. Dine in or pick up. It's just a short drive to our town and is hands down the area's best pizza. Like us on Facebook to see upcoming live entertainment and watch sports on our 360 wraparound TVs. Rejoice. Lake Martin Pizza on Highway 63 is ready for you.
I'm Joseph Dean with Lake Martin Funeral Home and Cremation in Dadeville. We're located at 16797 Highway 280, which is on the corner of 280 and 49 North. With an on-site crematory in Opelika and a cemetery in Tallapoosa County, we are a full-service funeral home. To get in touch with us, feel free to come by or call us, 256-750-0381. And for any other questions, you can visit the website at lakemartinfuneralhome.com.
Heritage South Credit Union in Alexander City is your community credit union, and they have been for over 80 years. Heritage South Credit Union proudly serves Tallapoosa, Coosa, Lee, Chambers, Randolph, and Chilton counties. From checking to business accounts, to share savings to club accounts, to their kids club and investments. Visit them online at myhscu.com. Heritage South Credit Union, your community credit union for 80 years. Federally insured by NCUA.
All different versions.
Yeah.
The Top Gun version.
Yeah.
Inverted. All right. Welcome back, everyone, to the Sports Blitz Saturday Sports Countdown presented by JR Sports Bar and Grill. Sunshine Heating and Air, we got 30 minutes left on the show. Get your comments in. Got football on tap, obviously, today. Let's dive into it. We'll start with, obviously, the SEC and go down the list. And when you look at this, Alabama, we'll start with Alabama, Luke, for you guys. South Carolina. I was on the Gary Harris show yesterday, as I always am every Friday in Tuscaloosa, and he was talking about, that South Carolina game in 2010. And, and he and I have had some discussions about that. I still think that may have been the most talented Alabama team in 2010. And it did not win anything that year because they had a hiccup against South Carolina, and then they end up losing the Iron Bowl in a crazy fashion that year.
Lost LSU.
And then, and lost LSU. I mean, it just was a very, when you look at Alabama's defense that year, I think every single player that started on that defense made it to the NFL.
Saban talked about it on the Pat McAfee show yesterday. He said, look, we won the title in 09, 11, and 12. And he said, I think 2010 was our best team. He said, but the problem was I was battling complacency all year. And that goes to show you, what is it? Fatigue can make cowards of us all. Complacency can let anybody beat anybody else. If you don't show up, it's more true today than it is back then. But if you didn't show up every single week last week, you were going to get beat. And, LSU was still pretty powerful back then. Auburn had one of their best teams, of my lifetime. South Carolina was, they had Alshon Jeffrey, they had Marcus Lattimore, they
were loaded, man. They had a good football
team. Gilmore. Yeah. They had dudes, and they were coached by, one of the greats of all time. And Alabama walked into a hornet's nest and just sort of acted like, we'll roll the ball out there and get them. And you can't do that. That was painful. But I do say this. I say that I really believe that game was a learning experience. And then, yes, they went on to lose a couple more games that year for sure. But I guess that whole year was more of a learning experience because they did go on to win the very next two championships. And if Alabama had been able to keep Auburn out of the end zone late in that game, they would have gone on and probably won their third straight championship. So it was still a good run. I mean, I'm excited about it, but I remember that game pretty vividly. Now I'll say this: that South Carolina team ain't this South Carolina team.
Oh no, not even close. Not even close.
Now, I think Lenore Sellers overall is a better quarterback than Steven Garcia. Steven Garcia had his Zach Calzada, Johnny Manziel moment in that Alabama game, and Lenore Sellers would be probably one of the first 2 or 3 quarterbacks picked in the draft, and Steven Garcia obviously wasn't. But this South Carolina team, they'll put up a fight. They'll be strong, but they are 3-4.
Well, I tried to tell everybody before the season, Luke, that anytime you place high expectations on South Carolina, they're going to do what they do, and that's exactly what they're doing right now. They're 3-4. Again, I know this was a close game last year for Alabama. Alabama had to win that game late, but this is just not a very good South Carolina team. They're just not. And Lenore Sellers had all these aspirations. I think like you said, he's still a good quarterback, but he can't do it by himself. And so I just don't see the pieces around this South Carolina team to get this done. I'm going to ask you a question though. You go back to the first of the season and Alabama and Florida State. What's so different now? Because you look at Ty Simpson and what happened in that game, and I remember watching you and Jimmy and y'all talking about it, and I know there was a lot of Alabama fans that were ready to. And I think you said this, Luke. Correct me if I'm wrong. That Ty Simpson wasn't the guy, for this team.
I'll tell you what I said. I said it was not Ty Simpson's fault. That game was not Ty Simpson's fault. In fact, he played better of most.
Right. I remember saying that. I think he was getting a lot of unfair blame by people for everybody wanting to crucify him.
But what I said was, I have no problem admitting this. I said, you know what? Maybe this team does need a quarterback change, though. I said, maybe he's fine, but they're not following him for some reason. I don't know what it is. And I can't put my finger on it. It was so bad and so out of character that I was like, the only thing I know to create a spark is to change quarterbacks. You don't get a spark when you change tight ends. You just don't get a spark. Something changes in the team when you change quarterbacks, though. Now, little did I know, and again, this is a complete tribute to the coaching staff, to Ty Simpson in particular, and to the rest of the team, but they took it upon themselves to create their own spark just as they were. And the next week, I know it was ULM, and Jimmy and I both said this, that, man, y'all can say it's just ULM, but we know what we saw last Saturday was what we thought we'd be seeing more of. It's almost too good to be true. So we're going to back it down a little bit, but that is how you want to respond. They can't help that ULM was just next on the schedule, and they buried them and they played great, and it could have been even worse. And then the next week, they play a Wisconsin team that we all know is not very good, but still look just as sharp. And then they go into Georgia, and we're like, okay, if they can keep playing this sharp, they can beat Georgia. And that's what they do. And they've really sort of played that sharp all the way through. Ty Simpson now, I think 18 touchdowns and 1 interception, and he's probably the leader for the Heisman. And who would have thunk it? And I think it is sort of the Mandela effect for people to look back and go, yeah, everybody wanted Ty Simpson benched. And I wouldn't say I necessarily wanted him benched, but I did think, okay, that may be the only way to get better. I didn't know that this team had it in it. After the Florida State game, I was so down on this squad. I went on the national football the college football reaction show, the national show, and I had a bag on my head. Like I was sitting just like this with a paper sack on my head going, that's how embarrassed I was. It was so embarrassing that Florida State fans weren't even screwing with us. They were almost like, man, we're kind of sorry about that. It was bad. And so for them to pick themselves up by their bootstraps and go this route and look good doing it and have, go 4 ranked wins in a row without an off week. No SEC team's ever done that. And so it's mind boggling to think this is the same squad. So I understand when people like Danny Cannell get their panties wadded up a little bit, that he's like, well, everybody's saying Alabama can win the championship, but I just can't discount that Florida State loss. Okay, that is very fair. I'm not going to argue with you. If you don't want to have Alabama in the top 4 right now like they currently are, you're not going to get an argument out of me, because I think that loss should mean something. However, I think just like 2010, on a much smaller sense, that Florida State loss may be the impetus for the reason that this Alabama team goes on to do big things. Yeah, it's crazy. I mean, you don't see a lot of resolve in teams after they start off a season like that to be able to turn around and do what Alabama's doing right now. So, again, like you said, they kind of found it within themselves, but it was just crazy. Not a good start for Ty Simpson to the season. It was not a good game. But again, it wasn't his fault. It was just 6-7, whatever the kids say. But it was just sort of like he was fine. He wasn't the problem. But it's sort of like, if you got a car, and I don't need to use a car metaphor. It was more defensively for Alabama than it was offensively. Oh, yeah. And that Ryan Williams was dropping everything. Hey, and where's Ryan Williams gone, by the way? He was, little did I know, he was kind of banged up. He took a concussion in the Florida State game. He didn't even get targeted in the Missouri game, though. No, he was, and I was shocked. I did find out later, okay, he was a total decoy that entire game. He wanted to play, and we were like, okay, but you're not really going to factor in this thing, because how did that happen though in a game? He was banged up. He was banged up. Yeah, we were not going to target him. It just wasn't going to happen. And then against Tennessee, even though he only had 5 catches, I think, for 90-something yards and no touchdowns, he also had a nice reverse. He blocked his tail off. He's finally healthy. And so it's not going to shock me at all if he has a game like he had against Wisconsin, which he should have had 3 touchdowns, only had 2. But he's, I think the game against Tennessee may have been one of Ryan's. The reason is, he 5 catches for about 95 yards, which is very, very nice. No touchdowns, but he didn't have any of those like, hey, break your ankles, double spin move, hit the B button, whatever people say. He had just some really incredible catches. He didn't drop anything. And I think he needed to learn, okay, I can contribute without being this spectacular event. I need to be able to just make the regular catches. Because if you do the catch like you had against Georgia last year, that's great. But then if you can't catch a routine screen, it sort of counteracts itself. So you got to be able to do the small stuff and do the big stuff. Well, you think you're expecting a game out of him today? Pretty big. I am. I'm expecting a big game out of him and Jeremy Bernard. And Ty Simpson. He's the best receiver on the team for Alabama, for sure. Bernard is really, I could make the case for Lottie Brooks being the best receiver on the team. He has caught the most clutch passes. I mean, if I'm ranking the top 5 catches of the year, like that are clutch, I mean, Lottie Brooks has probably got 2 or 3 of them, and he's out today. I think he sprained an ankle. There were some people saying he was sick, but I think it's an ankle, and he's been great. And so looking forward to him getting some rest and being back for LSU and down the stretch run. But Jeremy Bernard is the best doing everything. I mean, last week, Tennessee should have had him for about a 10-yard loss. He turns it into an 18-yard gain on one of those, a thing that was going to be like a throwback, but Tennessee guarded it well. And they had him cornered, and he just gets out of it. It was pretty incredible. He's a great receiver, and he's worked his way into first-round discussion. Again, you would have, knocked me over with a feather if you had told me that at the beginning of the year.
All right, let's take a break for TV. We come back, got a couple more segments coming your way here on the Saturday Sports Countdown.
Thunderbolt Lightfoot at Oscar's Cafe on Highway 49 South in Dadeville, Alabama is looking to see you today. Now, let me tell you, they got great food. They've always had great food all these years. Now, they still got that atmosphere. They still got that service. They still cater. Let me stop right there. 15 to 415 they can handle. So give them a call today at Oscar's, Highway 49 South in Dadeville. 256-825-4827.
Hillary Towers may very well be the Lake Martin area's best kept secret. An affordable senior citizens community located on Highway 22 East in Alexander City. Spacious one-bedroom units are currently available. Great location, peaceful setting, comfortable living where pets are allowed and utilities are included. Call today for more information on the newly renovated Hillary Towers, 256-329-0552. 256-329-0552. Hillary Towers, 22 East, Alexander City.
At C&T Electric, our clients are our priority. For the safety and security of your family and home, our technicians are professionally trained, drug tested, background checked, and wear uniforms with name tags. We're proud to have served the Alex City, Dadeville, and Lake Martin areas for the past 10 years. Give us a call at 256-234-0007 for all your electrical service and repair needs, or visit us on the web at www.cntelectricllc.com and spell out the word "and."
Inspired by the bold bison, Southern Union students blaze new trails every single day. They press forward knowing their SU education will lead them to success. Affordable, accessible, and locally unparalleled. Whether you're transitioning to a university or launching straight into a lucrative career, a degree from SU SEC can help you blaze your path. 3 locations, dedicated faculty and staff, endless possibilities. It's all waiting for you at Southern Union. It's time to venture forward. Register today.
When you need an automotive hero, you got to call S&S Discount Tire Pros. With locations in Alexander City and Dadeville, we are here to serve you today. From quick services like oil changes and tire rotations to in-depth automotive repairs such as suspensions, brakes, and tune-ups, S&S can take care of all your tire needs. You just have to focus on what's important and love the drive. Call S&S Discount Tire Pros today. We are automotive heroes, and we are here to serve you.
2025 RVs are here. Be the first to see the latest and greatest from your favorite manufacturers and lock in special show pricing at your local Camping World. '25 RVs are here. Be the first to see the latest and greatest from your favorite manufacturers and lock in special show pricing at your local Camping World.
All right, welcome back, everyone, to the Sports Blitz Saturday Sports Countdown presented by JR Sports Bar and Grill and Sunshine Heating and Air. A couple segments left here on the show this morning. Just kind of shift over, talk a little bit about Auburn. And real quick, and Luke, you know, I do this on a daily basis like you do with Auburn, with Alabama. So, we all know what the problems are. The diagnosis of it's simple. It's very simple. It comes down to lack of offense, and there's really nowhere else to look. Defense has played elite. It's played well enough to win every game the last 2 years. Just cannot figure it out. And stubbornness from Hugh Freeze with the quarterback situation and all that kind of stuff. you got to have to. It's inevitable, So you and I've said this before. If it's inevitable, why not immediate? So what are you waiting on? What is the advantage to waiting to make a decision? So unless Auburn's got somebody lined up, they know they're going to come. Just going to come in, be the next head coach, and they're like, well, we don't want to put DJ Durkin in as interim and have to go through all that, him win out possibly, and
then have to fight that off.
So, I don't know what the answer is, but there's going to be a change coming, and it's just a matter of when.
It sure feels that way. And, Andy and I got into this thing on Tuesday, and I want people to clearly understand what I'm saying, because we talked about how Florida's going to be looking for a coach, and they've already fired theirs. And some other places, LSU may be looking for a coach. If they don't win today, I mean, you got to say that can't. It's not going to get any better. You've hit the ceiling. So there. And I said, Eli Drinkwitz is mixed up in a lot of these games, and I said, but if you're Eli Drinkwitz and you've got Missouri right now, you're winning about 10 games a year.
Yeah.
And, the expectations are lower and you're making big money. You're making serious. I mean, shoot, if Signetti's making 12, 13, I mean, I assume Eli's making about 9 or 10. I don't know exactly, but I'm sure. And he'll probably get a bump this year if they keep winning. Why would you go to Auburn? Now, I get Florida a little bit, because Florida, I still maintain, has the best resources outside of Texas in the country. But I mean, you could go to Auburn, you're surrounded by Georgia, you're surrounded by Alabama, you're surrounded by all and everybody's uber competitive, and Auburn is just as passionate as these other places. And I'm telling you, I just went to Missouri. They're not as passionate. So you can go there and you win 9 games, 10, you have a dip to 8 games one year. Nobody's probably calling for your head, or if they are, it's not the big booster, because you provided them enough. And so my point was, historically, and probably in the future, maybe way in the future, nobody's going to ever argue Missouri's a better program than Auburn. Nobody'd be that crazy. Right this minute, Missouri's a better program. Now,
there's no question about it.
And Andy just couldn't buy that. And I said, but I'm talking about
Missouri in the current
minute
is a better program.
Yes.
I agree.
So, and he says at Auburn, you can win it all. Can you do that in Missouri? Well, Justin,
here's why I'm going to agree with you on that, Luke, because if y'all take you back to all the mics that y'all went through, that has nothing to do with the history of Alabama. But 100%. At that point in time, there were teams that were better.
100%. I mean,
you can be better in the moment.
I said, what do you think? I said, Dennis Franchione was our 6th choice.
That's what I'm saying. Historically, Missouri's not on the same page with Auburn. But right now, in the current stage,
here's the thing, and this is what I tried to tell him. Look, Andy, if you had told me 30 years ago that Nebraska would be swimming in the doldrums, and that like it used to be, if Nebraska was on your schedule, I'm going to mark that as an L. I'm going to be hopeful, but that's going to be an L.
Yeah.
And now if Nebraska's on your schedule, it doesn't even fire you up. The tickets on SeatGeek don't even go up. And Justin said, at Auburn, you can win it all. Can you do that in Missouri? The one thing I would counter with, Justin, Auburn could win it all back in 2010, and they could have probably 2013. That was all BCS era stuff. It's different times, and now we've got this expansion that you championed for, you wanted, and now we're getting Indiana's in there. Now we're getting Bleeding Hearts that are like, we have to get a group of 5 in there, and we got to get, we got to get Missouri in there, and Vandy's in the dead gum picture. So my point is that the playoffs may have made it even worse for teams that are right on the edge.
Jason Caldwell said this on our show, and I know we got to get to our last break, but he said, everybody better understand that with this, now teams that you thought were not going to be in play for a 5-star top player, they can sell out and beat an Alabama or an Auburn head-to-head.
What's Texas Tech doing?
Where did they come from? This is a prime.
They have one billionaire former player that's like, I don't want my team to suck anymore. So he's going out and buying it. Now, it may backfire because I know.
But right now, they've got them up there where they haven't been.
And you and I both know this, that if you have a bunch of players that don't really want to be at your university, but they are because of extenuating circumstances, they probably aren't going to play as hard. And we also know, you and I know this, that if they don't respect the opponents in the SEC, we will get our noses kicked.
Hey, and I tell you what, I think that's happening all across the board for every school. And I think the colors of the uniform, matter less and less every day. And I don't think there's, like you just said, I'm from Alex City, you're from Alex City. The Iron Bowl means something. Always going to mean something to us. Doesn't mean anything to a lot of people anymore. Tennessee, Alabama game, 3rd Saturday in October. We keep talking about all that stuff. Nobody cares. It doesn't even have the same feel.
It doesn't have the same effect. It doesn't have the same because it's just I just talked about
it. It's transactional. Everything is transactional.
It's not going to bother if some of Auburn, if it were the roles were reversed or whatever. But if Alabama or Auburn guys sit out the Iron Bowl because they're like, this game just doesn't mean anything in the grand picture. That's what I was scared of. Yes, I'm enjoying.
I think we're on the borderline of that. So
yeah.
All right, we got to take a break here on the show. We'll come back. One final segment here on the Saturday Sports Countdown.
If you're tired of the same old and you're hungry for something really good, then it's time to go to JR's Sports Bar and Grill. JR's has the best fingers and wings around, and their menu is loaded with appetizers, burgers, salads, and so much more. Follow JR's on their Facebook to keep up with their live music events and drink specials. And if after a long day you just want to stay in, remember JR's delivers. Call in your order at 256-329-2328. JR Sports Bar and Grill, 145 Alabama Street in Alexander City.
The all-new Winter Timber is now open. Located right next to the Walmart Market across from the Auburn Mall. If the outdoors is your lifestyle, Winter Timber is your new headquarters. From rifles, ammo, and hunting supplies, camo, and all the outdoor essentials, they've got it in stock and ready for you. Winter Timber is here to serve Auburn, Opelika, and the entire Lake Martin area. And they'll make the drive worth it. For the best selection and the best service in outdoor gear, one name says it all. Winter Timber, the best in outdoor needs.
Russell Medical Total Fitness is ready. Are you? Do you have arthritis? They can help. Pilates are for everyone. Ask them about the Silver Sneakers program. Get moving in a class now, or if you prefer, personal training on land and water are available. They have invested in new equipment for you. Invest in yourself with a dedicated and knowledgeable staff. Call today, 256-329-7623.
Satterfield Outdoor Living is Lake Martin's trusted friend for your outdoor land and leisure needs. We're the region's authorized Skag mower dealer for residential and commercial lawns and offer all the small engine accessories you need with top lines of Steel, Echo, Shindawa, Husqvarna, and Metabo products that can tame any landscape. Satterfield is also your grill headquarters with Big Green Egg Grill, and our pros service everything in-house and back up all sales. Get the Satterfield Outdoor difference on Highway 280 right across from Tallapoosa Ford.
Main Street Family Urgent Care.
Main Street Family Care offers a wide array of services that allows them to treat many conditions, and they also offer primary care. In addition to these services, they also offer DOT physical exams, lab testing, sports physicals, and vaccines. They accept most major insurance plans, including Medicaid. Main Street Family Care open 7 days a week.
Main Street Family Urgent Care. Heal better, feel better fast.
Zaxby's birthday cake milkshakes are back.
Just in time for Zaxby's 35th birthday, so they're gifting you half-off handcrafted milkshakes.
Happy birthday to us all.
Zaxby's handcrafted milkshakes.
Who's got the sauce?
Zaxby's.
Sign Source is your local vendor for commercial and residential sign manufacturing and installation. We offer all kinds of lighted and non-lighted signage, from retail signs, LED message centers, event banners, vehicle wraps, the whole spectrum. We also offer service and repair on existing signs, as well as retrofitting to LED or installation of outsourced signage. We have the knowledge necessary to fulfill all of your signage needs in the short or long term. Visit signsourcenow.com to get started.
And then play their conference schedule that doesn't include Ohio State. That sucks.
Welcome back, everyone, to the Saturday Sports Countdown. Final segment here on the show. All good points. Let's quickly go through the remainder of the schedule here this morning. Ole Miss and Oklahoma get things kicked off first right out of the gate here in just about 2 hours.
That's about the time Sila's soccer game will be starting, so I'll just let y'all tell me how it went.
Sorry to bring up bad
stuff. Listen, I'm telling y'all, I'm getting so anti-soccer now. You don't even know what.
You just thought communism was was bad. All right, Alabama and South Carolina, we talked about that. Missouri, Vanderbilt. Hey, 2 6-1 teams, 230. Can Vanderbilt keep doing what they're doing?
Greg Bargesi as the guest picker for game day. I think that's awesome. He's one of my favorite comedians. But yeah, I mean, it's actually a fun game. I cannot believe it.
It's very
but
fun.
I'll have it on.
Yeah, Missouri's not as good as their record. I'm just going to say that. That's
No,
crazy
but
to say that.
and it's wild because Ahmad Harvey, I think he's the best running back in the league, and he's got those Tina Turner thighs that he just runs over everybody. And but Alabama and Auburn both held him in check.
I was going to say both teams did a really good job shutting him down. Texas at Mississippi State.
Look, no, that's not a. I'm calling my shot now. Those cowbells. If Arch think Kentucky, the Kroger Field was intimidating, you wait till you get to that. You know, Mississippi State still got one of those big screen TVs that your grandmama has. That's their scoreboard. It's got the big back to it, and it doesn't even plug in with the HDMI. You got to plug it, and it's got rabbit ears, and that place is going to have cowbells. And Arch's going to look around and go, Daddy, what's wrong? And I'm telling you, Mississippi State's going to get after his butt today.
3:15. They had to just find a time slot for this game.
Well, they almost called it off due to lack of interest.
No doubt. A&M at LSU. I like A&M in this game.
I like A&M too. And plus, look, how much
Brian Kelly has no pizzazz at all.
I loved Ed Orgeron being in the league, even though he was, could rub you the wrong way, because I thought he was LSU personified. He's the human crawdad. That's what he is. And he's your and you're like, okay, what did you say? He sounded, every time he talked, it sounded like he was talking through the intercom at Burger King. And you're like, you don't know what he's saying. But he was LSU personified.
You're right.
Brian Kelly is Brian Kelly is what
down there at the opening thing.
Brian Kelly is what every other ethnicity thinks white people are always like. Brian Kelly is like when if you ask somebody who's Hispanic, like describe a white person, like just draw it. They just draw Brian Kelly. Like right?
Everybody at LSU, they're hoping they lose so they can get rid of him. All right, Tennessee at Kentucky. Nobody cares. I mean, really.
No, but why is that line only 7.5?
Yeah, it's weird. It's weird
because Kentucky is flat out.
I'm taking Tennessee.
I am too. I'm taking Tennessee big. I'm just wondering, why? Yeah.
Sometimes they just throw a wrench in there, just kind of make you think like this. Some things that make you go, like that song. All right, that's going to wrap us up here on TV. We'll stay up for about 1 minute, and then Luke's got to go to soccer. So we appreciate everybody that watches every single week. We'll be back with you next week for more of the Saturday Sports Countdown.
Farmers and Merchants Bank of Dadeville is building a foundation of strength and trust in the entire Lake Martin community. With our modern branch in Dadeville and caring, attentive staff, we've established Farmers and Merchants Bank as a reliable friend to your banking needs. Whether it's just a savings or checking account or any commercial, auto, or real estate loan, Farmers has local decision-making to build a relationship with you and your needs. Farmers and Merchants Community Bank. Strength, service, community.
Lee Apparel is your go-to vendor for screen printed and embroidered apparel and promotional products. We print and embroider free custom-made graphics or outsourced designs on everything from t-shirts, headwear, corporate wear, team sportswear, high-end safety apparel, and promotional products. At Lee Apparel, you can always expect quick turnaround time, competitive pricing, friendly customer service, and free in-hands delivery on all orders. Visit us at leeapparel.com to get started.
Summertime is a special time. Time on the water, time away from work, and more time with family and friends. Make sure your heart is ready for the season with an appointment at the UAB Heart and Vascular Clinic at Russell Medical. I'm Dr. Kevin Sublett, and our entire clinic is dedicated to keeping your heart healthy. We're right here in your own community and backed by the knowledge and expertise of UAB Medicine. Make an appointment today by calling 256-234-2644 or visit uabmedicine.org/heartrussell.
Ivy Creek Healthcare is excited to showcase their newest clinic, Ivy Creek Family Care of Lake Martin, located conveniently near the main entrance to Stillwater's on Highway 49 South in Dadeville. Ivy Creek Family Care of Lake Martin is an urgent care with walk-ins welcome. Whether you need lab work, x-rays, or immediate care, find comfort here at Ivy Creek Family Care of Lake Martin. Ivy Creek, here when you need us most. 256-827-5379.